Good morning, everyone. My name's Jeremy Adams, and I'm the Chief Help Officer here at the Fulcrum Group. Thank you for attending today's webinar titled A Day in the Life of an AI-Powered Executive. Complimentary educational webinars like this one from our experts at the Fulcrum Group help our clients and DFW business leaders with challenges and growth. The goal is to educate users so they themselves can become more efficient and more confident and navigate the world of artificial intelligence with a cybersecurity focus. So grab your notepad because this one applies to all of us. Our expert presenter today is one of our owners, Steve the Dr. Meek. Steve is an old school, long-time cybersecurity expert that does not mind explaining things and has maintained his CISSP certification for many, many years now. You might recognize him from hosting the Talk to the Doc podcast. I encourage everyone here, each of you, to reach out to Steve or respond to one of our introductory emails about being featured on the podcast. And what you bring to the conversation doesn't need to be technical or technology related. What he's looking for is great insights on leading in today's world of business, or having a strong culture, or best practices when managing employees through growth or through like the economic winter of your industry. By the way, for our guests today on the webinar, we'll select two attendees at random to receive our prize giveaways. First is a Plod AI recording device, not Applaud, but a Plod. It's a voice recorder that, yep, there you go.
What they look like.
The voice recorder that offers real-time transcription and translation of meetings and phone calls, and it captures and dictates notes for you. It's a $179 value. And secondly, 2 hours of one-on-one white glove AI consulting time to help you with your AI setup. Lastly, Steve has been playing 5:30 a.m. basketball for many years at the gym at Keller Point, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's the all-time leading scorer or assist leader for that court. And I say this to say, Steve is a major Dallas Mavericks fan and goes to the games. But many of you may not realize that Steve once challenged Dirk Nowitzki to one-on-one in an all-you-can-eat chicken wing competition. That's right. Challenged one-on-one to an all-you-can-eat chicken wing competition. Dirk was very fearful, and he declined the challenge. So without further ado, our fearless leader, early riser, and dry rub wing champion of the Alliance Corridor, Steve the Dr. Meek. Take it away, Steve.
Wow, Jeremy, it's going to be hard to follow that intro, but I'll do the best that I can. Welcome to everyone today. I sent out just kind of a quick email earlier, and so what I hope to show to you today was just a little bit about me. You know, the AI adoption is here. You hear everyone talking about it. I'm sure some of you are doing things with it, but you know, to me, the hard part is really envisioning where to parlay it elsewhere. And so I took a little bit of a different approach for the content today, and I decided to focus a little bit more around the actual use cases of things. So today, I guess I did want to start with the story. Obviously, you just heard Jeremy introduce me, Steve, and I spend like way too much of my day just like switching between all the different organizational needs, the apps, looking for updates, retyping the same information. I show up ready to lead, and then I kind of just get sucked into my day. So I just want to ask you guys, does that sound like something that happens to each of you as part of your role, your leadership? But if that's something that you think applies to you, could you put like an exclamation point into chat real quick and just send it through? Yeah, I'm seeing some people pop in there and stuff, and I was always taught that as a leader that you get the team you deserve. So as I started my own AI journey, I thought, I have to be better. And so, my day usually starts with, email and Teams messages in the morning. Sometimes while clearing both, they refill and require a second pass. And my calendar starts slipping by, early morning. and sometimes just by overnight communications. I'm bouncing between different requests, and it just seems like just overwhelming. And I did some research on it, and the recent number that I saw was that executives spend over 62% of their time on low value tasks. And that I would agree. It feels like in a typical day, I do the same thing, and it feels like it's not leadership. Just it's really just firefighting. But my friends always tell me admitting the problem is the first step. Or maybe that's just you, David. Maybe you're telling me that all the time. But anyways, maybe I just heard it on the internet, so I believe it's true. But really, that's why all these AI tools are there to kind of help us summarize, surface highlights, automate, draft content, and I want to help you. I want to walk you through kind of my day. Kind of a conglomeration of a typical week boiled down into a day of some of the different ways that I use AI in my own life to kind of help me move from just survival mode back into more of a leadership mode. Now, before I take you through the day, I do want to share just a little bit of structure, before the individual successes. There's something called the value pyramid, and you can kind of see there's three different types of area related to AI. At the bottom there, you see individual value. Typically, that's individual productivity. But what I'm going to show you today is a lot of the day in the life use cases. Jeremy, did you have a question?
I think
Or
you're
am I?
wanting to share your screen.
Oh, sorry. I thought I shared it like an hour ago.
There we go.
All right. And so there was the just kind of a little outline of today, just kind of some of the things that I plan to talk through. And here it was. Sorry about that. So in the three different types of value areas, personal productivity is typically the quickest one. You can go with day one and suddenly be taking advantage of individual things. Um, the great thing about Copilot, if you use like Teams Copilot, the $20-$30 license fee, you almost get the value back on day one just by using Teams with it. So being able to get those personal productivity benefits are great. The next stage, which we won't be talking about much today, but will be on a future presentation, will be around role-based agents. These are things that are geared around functional purposes, things like regression, taking a batch of data, using a portion of the data, 80% of it for actual training, and then use the remaining 20% for testing. That's kind of regression. There's image-based AI that are agent-oriented around classification, identifying specific things. There's clustering, which is about grouping similar things together. It could be defects or I don't know if you're in public works, it could be something like a curb repair or something else like that. Being able to recognize things like that from images, but there's all kinds of different things that you can do there. And then at the highest level, that's where they're autonomous, working all the time on their own, and bringing value to the organization. But typically, I recommend starting at the bottom and working your way up. We talk a lot about Copilot Chat, just because that's a good start. That's the secure AI tool, free with every Microsoft license. You start building those AI skills, but also AI learns from you over time. There's a saying that the AI you're using today is the worst AI you're ever going to have, because over time it learns about you. The tools get better. There's more features, there's more accomplishments. So the sooner you get started, the more capable and more powerful you're able to make that AI yourself. And actually, I just asked the question about the Copilot chat. I'm curious, how many Fulcrum clients in here have Copilot chat for all of their end users that everyone's logged in now. If you're doing that, would you put a dollar sign into chat? All right. Well, David, Ryan, make sure we reach out to them and make sure that we kind of do what we can to help them get their users set up. The price is right, but one of the things we're always afraid of for our clients is making sure that our end users aren't using some other chat. If you're using some other chat that's free, um, when you're using free chat, the reason it's free is because you're the product. So if you're the product, that means that the model is learning from what you're putting in there. It's taking your information. You could be leaking intellectual property, all of those kinds of things. So you want to put two things. You want to put a priority on knowing what AI people are using so that it's secure. But part of that is giving people something that they can use so that they're able to take advantage of it and not seeking AI elsewhere. Another foundational slide, again, starting from the bottom, working your way up. The pyramid before showed you how you unlock the value of AI, but here we're showing you, starting below the surface, that AI is kind of like an iceberg. Before you get that ROI, you have to realize that your journey starts at the bottom of getting your data ready. If you're going to be tapping into your data, that means getting rid of old stuff. That means securing the data, put it in, making sure it's organized, getting rid of duplicate. Sometimes those are non-AI tasks, but they're the hardest things to accomplish. But it requires someone in the organization who understands the data to turn that into a priority. Um, what else is there with cleaning up your data? Anyone want to hazard a guess? A lot of it's just making sure the data is clean, get it well organized. You're making sure that the data is accessible. Uh, one of the steps that you see in there is move it to the cloud. If your data is in a file share, typically it's not directly available to tools like Copilot or any of the others, unless you're manually adding those files to it within Copilot. And actually, there's ways you can connect even ChatGPT and other environments to your Microsoft tenant. Once it's in the cloud, once it's in OneDrive, once it's in SharePoint, once it's in Teams, once it's in email, then those workloads are in the cloud, which means that Copilot and other things have access to them. So getting your data ready though is a start. And later on, I do talk a little bit about AI-enabled hardware. Things like Qualcomm's Snapdragon. AMD has Ryzen, and Intel's Core Ultra. I think it's 200 series. So there's even AI-based hardware out there. Just we'll talk a little bit about that later. Also mentioned in here, Trega. Texas recently signed into law, I think it was around June, some AI requirements about responsible usage. But Trump just signed recently an executive order preempting states' abilities to enact AI controls. So I'm not sure where all that's going to work out, but I'm closely watching all the laws related to AI and privacy as those factor into cybersecurity and what we're doing with AI for our clients. Anyone have any questions around any of those topics? And kind of the last slide, why now? There's an old saying about running from a bear. I don't need to be faster than the bear. I just need to be faster than you. The same is really true about us and our competition. So one of the things I did to kind of sell myself on why now is basically I just did some research. What's what's the case for change, and in Microsoft's work trend index report, it said something like 82% of leaders say that 2025 is a pivotal year to rethink kind of your core strategy and operations. Some of that is uncertainty in the economy. Some of it is still the post COVID world. Some of it is the impact of tariffs. What other things are out there that are causing challenges? Ryan, DJ, any things out there that you're hearing from our clients about things that are reasons for kind of part of that case for change?
I
Increased
know,
competition for sure is what I hear about.
Increased competition, a great one.
I know specialization is also something that it seems like we deal with that, there's so many different platforms, there's so many different apps out there that people have to be proficient in and understand. And so it's hard to find somebody who checks all of the boxes for, from a personnel perspective that has all the skills and the experience that they're looking for, out of all the candidates. So it's like sifting through all the noise and trying to find the right candidate has been tough too.
Yeah, I would, as an executive, our business is founded up on personnel, people and skills. And, for us, payroll is, our top line item. And I suspect that for a lot of organizations that payroll, staffing, labor, all of those things continue to be top concerns. I heard Ryan say it's hard to find the right people. The increase in cost of benefits. I think I don't know how many people were involved with insurance, but I'm guessing most people's insurance probably went up another 20% if you renewed with the same organization. If you aren't able to get additional staffing, the second thing you see there is capacity. It just seems like you never have enough people. I'm sure that everyone on this call has heard so many organizations say they're too busy. When you say you're too busy, what you're talking about is the capacity gap. That's the difference between how much work needs to get done and how many people with the right skill set you have to get those things through it. SMB, like all of us, tend to feel the most stretched. I think out of that report, it said something like 53% of leaders said that productivity must increase, but that same survey didn't introduce or didn't interview just worker or leaders. It interviewed employees, and so the leaders said 55% of the leaders said productivity must increase, but 80% of the workers said they lack the time or energy to do their job. And keep in mind that 80% of workers who said they lacked the time or energy was not just employees, it was also the leaders as well. So, that's telling me that not just the people are tired, but all of us as leaders are tired too, just keeping up with all the stuff that's out there. One of the other things that I feel is very true for me and probably everyone in my organization, workers are pinged every 2 minutes during their core work hours. Can you imagine that? Every 2 minutes you're getting interrupted. A Teams pop up, an email pop up, a phone call, a text, a social media thing for some of you. Um, I kind of did the numbers, and that's about 275 interruptions every single day. To me, that's difficult to think of because for us, what we do, probably for most of you, that makes focused work scarce. And when focused work is scarce, that means more errors, more issues, more problems. And so to me, I'm not going to go into to most of to the other two topics, but to me, these first two topics were biggest for me. That hey, we've got to do something different. Maybe I can't hire as many people as I want to. Maybe we just have too much work, whatever it is. But these first two are the things that spoke most to me. I'm gonna reach out to someone in the group, see what their thought is. Let me pull up the my wheel of names here, And let me give it a quick spin. All right, Wes. Well, let's see, does it stop? Yeah, it's Wes. Talk to us about you, Wes. Of those 4 items, which do you think speaks the most to you? You still on there, Wes?
He's muted. It's saying the capacity gap.
See, he's so busy he can't even he can't even stay on the call.
I am.
There we go.
Right.
Okay.
There we go.
I was just asking which of these 4 items speaks the most to you as far as why you're trying to learn more about AI. You're still on mute.
Like I said, this capacity gap is probably what kind of pinged for me. But yeah, and then, like you say, just trying to figure out more time and places to do things.
Yeah, it seems difficult. I've really challenged our internal AI council that um, I get that you're busy. We're all busy, but it's the time management paradox that there's things you do because there's urgent, there's things you do because they're important, but there's also things that you have to do because they're significant. Meaning, if I do this today, it's going to save me time in the future. And I think that's hopefully that's the thing that you guys are all seeing is that if I invest an hour today, an hour every day, so many hours a week, so many hours a month, right now, I'm going to save 10 times that, in future months, in future weeks, in future years, whatever it happens to be. Thanks for that. Let's see, click forward. So let's take you through one of my days and kind of what I will typically go through. I'm not saying a workaholic, but I've always got something going on. So here I am. I'm driving into the office. I'm checking my email on the phone. Sometimes I look at those conversations and the email chain looks longer than a Netflix series, and so boom, I see something I want to learn more about. Right from if you've got Copilot installed in your office, you can also install it on your mobile devices and run a query right from there. So I go into Outlook on my phone, and I'm able to query Outlook right from my phone. Now you can see the lower arrow shows me that we've got GPT-5 enabled on my phone. I believe OpenAI just released 5.2 earlier this week or late last week, and it's available in Copilot now. You can see that we've configured some settings to restrict access to our SharePoint environment. So right now that's locked down while we go through our cleanup and resecure of all of the data. And then you also see in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little shield sign showing that if I was sharing all of that information out there, it would be trusted. So that's making sure that stuff in my environment doesn't leak out to the public internet up there. You can also see the 2 little buttons there that when you've configured your Copilot environment, that you've got a button for both work and web. The work stuff, if that was highlighted, would go out and search stuff in my environment for more information. And if it's the web, then it's going to go out and search the web for other things as well. But since this is in my email, it's going to be hyper-focused on the email chain that I selected for it before I ever get into work. So here we are, 8 o'clock. I'm at the office. I fire up my laptop, but again, I told you, we're shorthanded. We don't have as many. Every organization has a capacity gap. IT, I would venture to say, always has a very high capacity gap because there's always things that we're trying to do. So one of the first things I did is I'm a big believer that about the right tool for the right job. So knowing that I was leading our internal AI initiative, I purchased an AI-ready laptop. So I decided to go with the Qualcomm Snapdragon device. I went with one, I think Samsung was the manufacturer, but I just thought that since I'm focused on tasks as varied as emails, HR, writing content, leadership, just having the Snapdragon X chip, their NPU is a huge productivity boost. It accelerates anything machine specific AI on my device. And so far, like I don't see a big difference with ChatGPT, but since Copilot has an agent that runs on my device, I noticed that Copilot within the agent seems to run faster. Copilot via the Edge browser doesn't seem to be as fast. There's also some Copilot Plus features that they're rolling out for the PC, but I don't have all of those configured yet. You can see if you go into Task Manager, you can see that my NPU and GPU, there's there. You can see that the NPU and GPU, it's got a separate parameter for that. And Task Manager, the NPU is the neural processing unit. It handles the AI workloads if you're doing things like image recognition, NLP, natural language processing. If you're doing predictive modeling, there's ways I can install AI applications right on my laptop. Things like Plotly or what's the other? Uh, there's several of them out there. If you're doing GPU related stuff, graphics processing unit. This is optimized if I'm running parallel workloads, if I'm rendering 3D graphics, if I'm trying to do video playback and manipulation, if I'm running simulations. That's where Snapdragon, I think, takes off and excels versus some of the others. I know that there's some compatibility issues, so make sure you do research on specific applications. But so far, I've had pretty good luck with Snapdragon and all the different workloads that I'm using. One of the big reasons I went with Snapdragon is because since Samsung builds devices for processing devices, Android and so forth, they've learned how to really optimize the battery. And so my laptop basically goes most of a day, where my old laptop, if I got 2 hours out of the Dell workstation, I was lucky.
Just a heads up, we're at the 30-minute mark.
All right. Thanks for that, Jeremy. Here's kind of some comparison between the three platforms that I just mentioned there. Again, we can kind of help guide you and other things, but I went with Snapdragon for the performance possibilities, for the battery life, and then just not having the heat quite the same as with other units. With 910, being a company leader sometimes means that I'm a subject matter expert on things I never intended to. So I'm always doing research on things. Since we deal with a lot of local government, I can go on and quickly do things here. Like I open up my browser, you can see the Copilot image in the upper right-hand corner. And I have it selected for work, but this is a PDF that I just happened to open up on the website and asked it to summarize it again. So again, Copilot went through and, I could ask it what are the changes between CGIS 6.0 versus 5.9.5, which was the prior version. I can ask all kinds of questions. I can ask pointed questions. What are the differences in, I don't know, privileged access management in this particular version, which is one of the key areas in CGIS 6, but allows me to go through and parse large amounts of data very quickly, so I can pretend to be a subject matter expert on all of those things. Even if I'm not quite there, it gives me pointed information. 930. I've been in IT for 30 years, but I've never taken a typing class. So, what do they used to call it in high school? Keyboarding, something like that. I think I typed like 20 words a minute with 30 mistakes. So I used to use something called Dragon Naturally Speaking, but now with AI, there's AI tool sets out there that are AI-based dictation tools. So if I had something, let's see if I can open up Word real quick. Fortunately, opening Word quick is maybe not a thing. With my AI typing tool, all I need to do is hold down a couple of buttons. And once the typing tool engages, right now it's recording. So I go through, I can say stuff, I can make things up, I can talk about important points, but it'll take the information using AI, it'll rephrase it, kind of try and organize it and make the sentence even better. I just let off of it and it's thinking about it, but it's going to go through and try and, oh, maybe I didn't do it. Maybe it's having a problem because I'm in the middle of this call. But with the AI tool, it's able to go through and do things like I can come in here and not only type up detailed documents, audits, assessments, SOPs, or other things, but dictionary lets me add in my unique terms. Snippet lets me add in common things that I want to do, personal terms, company jargon, client names, industry specific lingo, the things that I shouldn't have to retype. So, if there's things like emails, bios, addresses, any of those kinds of things, I can just speak them and the tool adds them right into the content. I can even do things like set formality levels, such as formal, casual, very casual. And the tool has gotten so good at dictating my stuff that, I'm afraid one time it'll write back, "Are you sure you want to say that?" Something like that. So I've gotten my document together, finished my report, but of course I lost track of time and now I'm late to a Teams meeting. I'm able to go into Teams. I completely missed the meeting, but if I go back in there, I can look through stuff and check for a recap on things that I want to know. Teams just recently added a feature called Audio Recap, where it'll come back here and give me an audio version of whatever's happened, like a real short summary of things. I can click down here into AI summary and it'll give me a very detailed description of things we're talking about. You can kind of see an example here. If I'm just trying to catch up on things where I might have an action item, if I click the at mentions button, at mentioned, it'll pull up the things where my name was referenced and it'll take me to that link here in the audio or in the video where I can click it and see where things are. If I want to see where individual speakers were speaking, I can click down into them or check on their topics. It'll even break it down into individual chapters to help me know what went on during that call. Anyone, David, Ryan, you have any other Teams things that you like about keeping up with the audio recaps or doing follow-up? I know you guys are very meeting heavy.
I like to just be able to ask questions about things and get kind of a feel for how people are interacting and those kind of things. It's handy for that.
What are the people's sentiment? How do I close this call? What do you think I should ask next? Those are all kinds of things. Summarize the last 10 minutes of discussion. List who has spoken in their key contributions. Tell me the main themes of the conversation so far. Those are all things that you can ask in the middle of the call, and it'll give you feedback. It's a little bit slow because it's processing a lot of data to get that information, but I find that very helpful in the middle of a presentation, a one-on-one, a conversation, whatever it happens to be that I'm doing over Teams.
I know for me specifically, when it comes to conducting meetings, it allows me to focus more on the meeting and less on note taking because I've grown to trust the transcript and the AI summary. And I really appreciate having the transcript too, because occasionally there'll be something the AI summary didn't catch, or I won't agree with how it worded something. So I can literally go back through and read the chat or a text transcript of everything that was said during the meeting to make sure I got an action item right or a name right or a term right. Sometimes, industry terms or apps or acronyms, can get a little bit fuzzy when it comes to AI summary. So you can always lean on that transcript, but overall, it's really helped me be just more present in the meeting, so I can just really focus on the discussion rather than note taking.
Absolutely. And I talked about doing that through Teams, but not all your meetings are over Teams or over the over computers. So I often have offsite meetings, and so I was trying to find a way around that, and I came across the Plod device. And so with Plod, I'm able to take that on site with me, record a conversation. If I get a phone call, I can switch it to phone call mode and record the conversation of the phone call. In the state of Texas, as long as one party knows the call is being recorded, it's okay to record. In some states, it requires both parties to know. Typically, I'm doing it just for note taking, keeping track of things, and I find it's helpful to, in the process of capturing, important conversations for an executive. If you're having a team meeting or one-on-one or whatever it happens to be, you can focus fully on the conversation without spending so much time taking notes. A lot of times I do still take notes because I try to highlight things. But as Ryan pointed out with Teams, Plod does the same things. It keeps a copy of a transcript, which you see over here, and then it also does its own interpretation of its summary. It has some other things it'll do, like break out key quotes or other things. You can kind of see a list of some of my conversations from when I did this presentation. I can even go back and rename the conversations if I want to make it more meaningful to remind myself of something. For example, I was at a conference, the Ingram 2-day conference, and so I was able to take the information, broke it up over lunch. So not only did I record the whole 2-day conference, but on day 2 I had 2 different things, and I merged those 2 conversations into one AI summary. So it allows me to go through and organize my data and keep it all together. And for anyone, it allows you to not just keep up your conversation and keep track of things, but also know where you can just focus on the conversation. Or I guess you could also just pretend to listen. Although I guess if I use that at home, I'd have to add in "I'm sorry" about every 5 minutes of listening, just to seem more legit if I wasn't really listening. 1 o'clock, I'm back from my appointment, and now here I am working on my blog. One of the things that we've done is we've created some marketing avatars and guru writers so that I've ingested information about Fulcrum Group. I've ingested stuff about me. I prioritize it around certain verticals. And so now I'm able to create custom blog content very rapidly within minutes related to a particular topic. So, for example, in my case, I record a podcast. I take the transcript from that podcast. I add in a little bit about Fulcrum, a little bit about a vertical, and now I'm able to write a really good story, or produce a really good story. And then all I have to do is go through and edit it, true it up, make sure it's not saying something that I didn't intend for it to say. But with these marketing avatars, I've basically trained a virtual expert, like a copywriter, in our voice, our values, our market, my wording, to kind of produce a first draft, which makes it so much easier for me to do, my final version much quicker. It was taking me approximately 8 hours to prepare for a podcast, record the podcast, write all my notes for like show notes, do social media content, and then do a blog related to that podcast. It was taking me 8 hours a week to do all of that. Now I'm down to about an hour and 30 minutes to record the podcast, 30 minutes for me to edit the blog. But one of my associates now is doing a lot of the basic work to kind of get it ready for me. So basically, not only did I shed 8 hours of my time down to an hour and a half, but I was able to involve someone else in our organization who isn't the podcaster, the subject matter expert, the copywriter, those kinds of things to kind of do preparation and other things for me. On the operations side of things, we deployed a new application, but we're still trying to learn it. So here's just kind of a quick example of an AI agent that we could create using Copilot Studio. Copilot Studio comes with Office 365. And you heard me talk about agents that was at the middle of the pyramid. But what Copilot Studio allows you to do, it allows you to create kind of these custom AI solutions, tailored around your business. It could be as simple as pulling in a whole bunch of PDFs. So for my example here, I want to do something to help us come up with an agent to troubleshoot a new application that we were deploying for a client. So we pulled in their glossary, their best practices for deployment and implementation, their best practices for troubleshooting, and created instead of a large language model, basically we're kind of creating a small language model. We're creating a limited subset of data that we are querying against, which makes it produce more pointed information, more detailed, more highly specialized for whatever that particular case happens to be. So basically, we're using natural language, a low-level code design. So you can be a very non-technical person, but basically pull in that information very quickly. If you're a little bit more technical, or if you had someone technical to help you, you could potentially connect your Copilot app to one of your applications. So connect it using Microsoft Power Platform connectors, or use an API potentially and connect to it. Copilot Studio has connectors to things like Salesforce. I think they're working on one for QuickBooks Online and some others. But depending on your specific applications, you can link to specific things like ServiceNow or Google services, and use Copilot Studio to query your data repository as opposed to just file shares or just whatever you want to manually add in to a chat. And here, after using my agent, I want to create kind of a training. So I come in here and I grab those documents and I just say, hey, Mr. AI, hey, chat, I'd like to create a training agenda based on these particular documents. So it goes through, creates a syllabus. I found it for me, when I've tried to have PowerPoint automatically generate a presentation for me, it's not as good. So I try to break it up into discrete steps, where first I create the syllabus, then I edit the syllabus, then I plop the syllabus into Copilot, and boom, then it's able to create a much better presentation for me. For me, I was sorry, it skip past another thing there of actually showing the presentation, but I did have a graphic there that also showed kind of how that training came to life, but it advanced past that. One of the other tools that I'm using is an AI-powered recording studio. And so now that I've got my presentation from the prior slide, I'm wanting to record a town hall for my employees, basically trying to find other ways to communicate with my team besides just written documents and meetings and other things. So I'm able to record like a presentation. I take that information, I can come in here and read it. And once I'm through reading it, I can use AI to kind of polish up my presentation that I just did. So in here, you can kind of see on the left, I'm coming in here, editing out specific words, maybe editing out a phrase, changing a phrase. You can kind of see where I've cleared out some of those kinds of things. You can see there's AI tools over here to the right. So I can do things like fix my eyes. So if my eyes were really reading the script, I can have AI actually correct the way my eyes look to make it look more polished in that particular town hall meeting, so it looks like I'm looking at my audience the whole time. I can have it remove filler words. I can have it remove pauses and ums and ahs and all of those kinds of things, but making my content look a lot more professional. Pretty soon it's going to just cut me out entirely and tell me, hey, honestly, it's better without you in there, Steve. Coming near the end of the day, it's 4 o'clock. It's month's end now. I've got to go through and look through the financials. I don't want that stuff getting on the internet, so I don't use one of the free versions of tools, but within Copilot, or if I got the enterprise license of ChatGPT, I can come in here, pull in my P&L statement, ask pointed questions. Tell me, can you help me summarize trends? Can you help me build out visualizations from my P&L? Can you create a statement of cash flow? Can you, whatever you want to do, whatever you can imagine, can you help me take the last 3 years worth of financials and help me create a budget for 2026, assuming a 10% growth in revenue and a 15% growth in costs? Can you factor in these changes to these specific expense lines? Payroll is going to go up 10% per month or over the entire year. Can you divide that up? AI can come through and make that pro forma, make that financial, give you cost accounting trends. Hey, where have we increased in cost over 2025 that I need to look at? What is my you could pull in your budget. Here's my AI, here's my IT budget. Help me understand, what renewals I need to account for this year. Where I need to improve, where I could cut costs and reinvest elsewhere. All of those kinds of things. Summarize last quarter's revenue and expenses. Generate a pivot table that compares monthly sales by product category. All of those kinds of things. Just by utilizing the tool. Here's kind of a view of me, something that I put in there. I think I did create a comprehensive, it gave me a comprehensive set of suggestions to increase EBITDA. And of course, I always put in a little bit more than a full day. So, I have another one-on-one for tomorrow. I want to get ready while it's still fresh in my mind, so I've got time to think about things before I go into the meeting. So I'm going to be meeting with David. So I go into Teams, or go into Copilot for 365, and I say, hey, query across all the workloads. I've got like a special prompt that I use that goes in and basically prompts all across everything and looks for any reference to David over the past 30 days. So it's looking in Teams, it's looking in Outlook, it's looking in Word, it's looking in OneDrive, and it comes back and gives me a bullet list of items and creates a little prep table of information all about conversations that I've had with David. So here you can kind of see a part of that table. It's looking at an email. It's also going to look at, as I mentioned, all those other things. But that helps me organize myself, think about that prep time, and really do justice to doing a really great one-on-one with David as we get together for our meeting. So that takes you through the the full day of an AI-powered executive, going through all the different things, all the different areas of thing that I'm trying to work on with my team. And actually even have a kind of a what's next for you. What's next? Start talking to your team, find out what AI they're using. The thing that we hear a lot, there's things we can do, reports we can run to kind of get a sense of if we know of AI that people are using in your environment, if you're a Fulcrum client. But start talking to your team about what AI we should be using, and what AI is out there. Looking at creating a policy for your organization. Again, something else, if you're a Fulcrum client, that we can help out with, help you draft a policy for your organization and identify those specific applications you want to focus on. Look at your line of business applications, talk to your vendors, find out what AI possibilities there are. Again, that's something that we can help out with. Engage with your vendors, talk to them, ask pointed questions, ask connectivity questions, all of those kinds of things. And besides talking to your team, getting started, deploy the free Copilot chat throughout the entire organization. The worst thing that's going to happen is they start learning about things. The free version doesn't give full access to all of your environment until you license it. So you can turn it on, let the fire hose go, and let people figure it out themselves, or ideally provide some training for your people so that they get better. Hopefully they'll start thinking about use cases within the AI world. We talk a lot about the citizen developer, meaning AI shouldn't be built only by an executive or only by the IT people. The best AI is when it's created by people who are using those kinds of things. Getting training out there. AI is vastly different than anything we've used before. If you're a Fulcrum client and have our Breach Secure Now PII Protect portal, we provided some ChatGPT and some Copilot training within our portal that you have access to. If you're a Teams user, we can push that directly into Teams to make it a little bit easier for users to get to. And I talked about looking for AI within your existing products, but if you're looking at new tools, make sure that you also are looking at AI possibilities for those, because your legacy applications could be holding you back. We just recently replaced our goal planning application, and one of the parameters we were looking at was AI capabilities. And so we found a tool that not only was able to interconnect with Microsoft Entra and Teams, but also had AI. So now even within our Copilot for 365 instance, now within our application, there's actually a shortcut to that particular application. So I can query directly in there, query AI, all of my reviews and surveys and one-on-ones and things that I do for my team. So looking at kind of the next generation of applications that are out there. What's next? I know we got about 5 minutes left. But I talked to you about how your highest ROI, your quickest ROI is personal productivity, and your highest is agent-based. I talked a little bit about how use cases were the approach that I took for this. If you're trying to think of that for yourself, one of the things you can do is a time survey on yourself. We've done that internally for years, just to kind of find out what we can automate, but we found that that's a helpful practice if you're trying to figure out how to introduce AI into your organization. Find out where all your time is going. Basically create a little Excel time log, track it every 15 minutes, go in there, document what you're investing your time in or what you're wasting your time on, and that gives you an idea of where you need to consider AI next. You can also look in reports if you're a heavy Office user. Microsoft Office has Viva Insights, which can give you some guidance on which users are using which applications and where they're spending their time. Those are things that we can help out with as well. And those things I think are going to help you find, is the next powered AI executive you? Are you the one who's going to be able to find those things? If you're not using Copilot Chat, there's a quick QR code. You can scan that, and it'll allow you to install it on your smartphone. It'll install on both Android and Apple if you have either of those platforms. I think we plan on providing this presentation to you after the chat, but there's a copy of that QR code. And my challenge to you is, not just the personal productivity side, but be a frontier firm. Be those who are kind of that AI first. Use that phase one. Make sure that you're that human with the assistant. AI's not there just to assist, but to also help transform workflows. Oops. Phase two, get into the human agent teams. That's where your agents are kind of helping complement your people. Your people are really busy. it's hard to find more good people. So the next best thing is give tools that help your current people do more with less. And then the last part there is just, as you go through your journey, make sure that everything's got to be human led. We're not replacing people with AI, but what we're doing is supplementing your best people and giving them that rapid adaptability to, those next challenges that are coming to your organization, so that you're, moving faster, learning quicker, and basically innovating, more boldly than what a traditional organization will. And I kind of, there's kind of some ways that we can assist on your journey. We offer kind of a variety of services for you. We've got like a free Copilot chat that we can kind of help you get set up. We've got the Copilot readiness that we can do, and then we've even got some other things that are out there that are point tools that you can do. We've got the Brightbot, which is a website based applet that we can configure to kind of give you a bot for your website based on content that you provide. There's a voice concierge that can work with as an AWS powered contact center platform, but basically it can kind of help lead someone through a customer journey. And then we also have assessment services, as well as the flight school that we're rolling out the start of next year. And that's all I had today. I don't know if you want to turn it over to people for any questions.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions? Feel free to unmute or just put it in chat. Since we are right on the line, if any questions come up, bring it. For those, the randomly selected attendees from today, the winners pulled first was Bryce Powers, and second was Cherie Fanning. Congratulations. We'll reach out to you after. Does anyone have any questions about what you've seen today or anything that's come up at all?
No, is that confusing? I didn't realize that.
Clear as a bell.
I thought you answered everybody's question ahead of time, Steve.
Yeah, no, it was good. A lot of food for thought.
Well, thank you everyone
Well,
for joining us today. We appreciate you guys. Go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say that while I have everyone online, I'm also going to I've got a support ID there, but I'll also can someone post my email in the chat, the Steve at email. I'm also always looking for speakers for the podcast. I'm taking a break at the end of the year because I'll be out, but I'll be starting back in January 1. So I'm always looking for speakers with topics geared. Right now, I'm doing 80% business topics and about 20% technology topics. So if you've got a great topic around any of the things I just mentioned, HR, customer service, I don't know, executive health, if you've listened to my podcast, I've done things on anything from executive performance to personal health to whatever. There's a link to the podcast if you want to check it out. But I'm also looking for guests as well. So if you're interested in guesting on the podcast, it'll be an hour-long discussion, but it'll give you back some content you can go back and use in your own marketing efforts and stuff. And while it's not like a sales pitch or anything, just something to tell a little bit about your story and what makes you guys, your organization unique, whatever that organization happens to be.
Absolutely.
That's all I had.
All right, everyone. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your 2025 and happy holidays.